Smile.
Yeah.
And we're live. Happy New Year, everybody. It is Mike and Enrica. Enrica, how was your New Year?
Oh, it was fine. I was in the mountains, so it was cozy. There were fireworks, and we enjoyed it.
You had
That,
fireworks in the
yeah,
mountains?
yeah, there were.
Is this like the Italian Alps that you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah, I love it. And, I've been in 2024 for a bunch of more hours than you, and I feel it looks good. Let's see.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, I have a ton of New Year's resolution, but I started badly. A lot in my TPT store. I want to improve. I want to create more products. So I need to see how to manage to see how many products I did last year every month in order to improve.
Right.
And for my personal life, I want to eat better and do more sports and stuff like that. I want to be able to be less stressed. I have really a condition about stress. I'm really stressed, so I don't sleep well. I need to improve. And you, what about you?
I have, if you've watched the show for a while, you know that I've dropped the $1 million mark as my goal for a bit. So I did some math. So far, I've made around 80,000 on TPT, which means there's 920,000 left. So if I say 10 years, then that means I have to make 92,000 per year. Last year, I made 20,000, around 20,000, easy math. So I have to, in my head, what I'm thinking is, okay, if I try to 10x, so 10 times what I'm currently doing, then if I miss the stars, at least I'll get the moon. And so if I only get a 5 times increase, 20 times 5 will be 100,000 this year. So my strategy, my resolution this year is to get 10 times as many product previews and 10 times as much content created. So that's a perfect.
I will follow you. I will do the same.
Okay, so let's try to do
Let's do it together. Update our our viewers every week.
Yeah, to see how it goes. So the first thing is, can you share your screen, Enrica, and download the latest version of a free seller tool? Because I did a quick update before the show.
Yes, so I need to download. It's TPT free seller tool, and I am right here. Okay, perfect.
If you go to freesellertool.com, there's a download button. And then once you sign up for the email, it sends you a link, which Enrica is going to show us in a second.
Okay, perfect.
And then you click on that link and you get the latest copy.
And I have it.
Yeah,
I'm going to click on the yellow cell and import my data. I already have them because I downloaded them before.
You downloaded your product stats CSV earlier.
Yes.
And so now we're uploading it into the yellow cell.
And little Italian lesson. I have it.
So replace the contents of the cell.
Okay. And then import. And when you import the data, you need to delete one row.
Yeah, I find it takes a second to load.
Okay, here it is. Okay,
so
and deleting.
She right clicks to get the menu and then delete row. Awesome.
So I've done it, and now we have. Oh, there is a new tool that is 10x.
So the 10x dashboard. Okay, so I made some
changes.
Okay, so can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah, and I'm also doing like 75%. So it's
so what it's doing is it's pulling out the 5. So it's looking at your product stats CSV. It's figuring out what products you made last year at this time. And so you made 5 resources. So if your goal was to 10x, you would have to make 50 resources.
So that's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So now the
I
question
can
would
try.
be,
I can try.
what would need to happen for you to make 50 resources this month?
Oh, I should have a lot of free time. And, it's, I don't know. I've got inspiration. I know what I should create, especially about topics. And I've got a few ideas about uh, kind of activities. So I could try to create 50 resources. What is really tough for me is product description because being not English mother tongue makes, I think it's hard for everybody no matter what, but for me being Italian is 10 times harder because I don't know exactly what to write. I have to translate and then I miss a word, and when I change the word is not exactly what I wanted to say. I don't know perfectly all the keywords and stuff like that. And plus, I despise creating covers, previews, thumbnails, and stuff like that. I think that would be the hardest part for me, not to create products.
Okay. So I'm going to pause this here. So the question about when to hire a virtual assistant, to VA or not to VA, so to hire a virtual assistant or not to hire a virtual assistant. So this is the question. There's a great book, Who Not How, and it talks about this idea that if you want to sort of scale up, the question is not how do I do this? How do I create a better product description? The question is who can do this for me? So
Yeah.
the problem is, and I've had this conversation with a few TPT sellers, is sometimes we spend money on a VA, but then we're not sure whether we're getting good value for the money that we spend, or we hire it, but then we think, I can do this better than my VA could do. But the idea with Who Not How is this idea that if, let's say I hire someone to do a cover for me and it takes them, they're only 60% as good as what I can do. But if I have 10 of these people, they can do 600% more than what I could do by myself, right? Because
Yeah.
so that's the idea there. The idea about virtual assistants, or with any business, is the ability to scale. So the question is, when do you VA? And I think if you're a TPT tadpole, or if you're a TPT egg, if you're just starting out, part of it is just figuring out the systems yourself. But eventually, I think in order for us to crack the code, in order to if our goal is to create 50 resources this month, it's not humanly possible with the time we have. So I guess if I was to come back to you, Enrica, if I was to share your screen here,
No,
if you
sorry.
were to go back to that Google
Here it
sheet.
is.
Yeah. So let's say your goal wasn't to 10x. Let's say it was just to 5x your resources. So let's change that to 5. If you were to 5x your resources, that means you would have to create basically a resource a day
Yeah.
while also being a full-time teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could do that, but the problem is still covers, preview, and product descriptions. Also, almost all my products are digital products. So I feel like I always need also a video preview to show how the product works because I think it's the best advertise that I could give. So I think I need someone who helps me. I tried in the past, and I have to say, I wasn't happy. I didn't like what I received. I've been scammed a couple of times. I had this, I think, young girl who used to do things for me, and then one day I said, "Okay, listen. Instead of paying you everything you do for me, I'm gonna paying you in advance a thought, and then you'll do and will scale what you're doing." Never
Right.
heard from her ever again. And
So
it
she took
was
the
a,
money and ran?
yeah, and I felt so sad, because it wasn't such big money. It was like $50 or something like that.
Right.
And I think it's sad because it's your honor on the stake here. And, I didn't like. Then I tried on Fiverr, I don't know how you call it. And I found someone to create some Pinterest pins for me. But
And
I
how was
think,
that?
oh, she did everything, but I could do better. So I
Right.
wasn't that big.
Okay,
Then,
that's the issue, right? Because we always can do better, and I find I'm hitting this problem too. Like when I'm trying to outsource for my WordPress company, I can do better, but the challenge is I can't do it all. And at a certain point, if you want to scale, then you do need to get other people to do it. When
yeah,
you hired that first
exactly.
person who scammed you, how did you find that person?
I found her in VA Facebook group. There is a group specifically for VA for TPT.
Right.
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the group, honestly. And I asked her, and I found this girl. She seemed fine, but after I paid her in advance, she never answered any email or message from me,
Right.
and I never heard from her again.
I think
So
I think that that's a
that's
common.
sad.
I think the challenge is if you pay in advance, unless you trust the person or have built that relationship where they see that there's value in continuing that relationship with you.
Yeah.
I think that's the danger. I like Fiverr because Fiverr, in there are lots of companies. What's the other one? Upwork. But the idea is that I pay for the gig. The money is held in escrow by Fiverr. And then once the gig is done, and I approve the
Yeah.
delivery, then the money gets released. So I find that protects me a little bit, but then Fiverr takes a cut, but at least it protects my money a little bit. And I find if I find someone, because they don't want to get bad reviews. So then
Yeah.
you have that, but then the moment you finish the gig, if they say like, oh yeah, I'll provide service after, for 30 days, there's no guarantee that they'll do it because you've already paid and you've already left a review.
Mhm.
So all of the leverage is gone. What would it take? So if we think specifically in your case, Enrica, you said the hardest part was product description writing.
Yeah.
What would
So yeah.
go ahead. What do you currently do for that?
I use ChatGPT, I use my expertise, and I use, a lot of research. That's what I can do.
What do you do for the research? So one of the things that I got from Who Not How was the idea that the more clear you are with expectations, the more likely it's going to happen, as opposed
Oh
if
yeah.
you're just sort of vague, if you have very specific criteria for the end results. So I think like when I look at some of the big stores, they have pretty consistent
Yeah,
formulaic
I know.
stuff. Are you at that point now where it's like all of your product
Oh,
description?
I don't know, but I'm at some point with my covers and thumbnails and video preview because I think a lot of things happen by chance. I
Mhm.
sent one. There is a new group that is called VASE, and specifically like I don't know how to call it, a school for TPT VAs, something
Okay,
like that.
right.
And they asked me to give them some materials to for the students to work on. They needed products to work on, products to do stuff on. And I sent one of my escape rooms, and a couple of, I think a week ago, I received an email, and this student thanked me for the resource and sent me what she did. And I have to say, I had a blast because it was me. She really understood who I am and what I do. She looked at my covers and previews and what I have on my store, and she improved it. She got my colors branding and she made it fun. I really loved what she did. So I immediately hired her.
Okay.
And now she's working for me, and I'm really happy about what she is doing and she's working on covers and preview because she does graphics.
And how do you prevent yourself from being scammed?
I paid half the money that I owe her
Right.
now, and then
Right.
the other half I will pay after she finishes.
Right. And that's probably a good life lesson anyway, like pay half up front and half at the end or at
Yeah.
certain milestones. Out of curiosity, what do you use to pay? How do you pay the person?
People.
You use PayPal.
Yeah.
And then you
It's
just
easy.
transfer the money through PayPal.
Yeah. Because I received an invoice and I paid half of it, and I will pay the other half once she finishes.
Oh, that's fascinating. So I don't use PayPal anymore. I still have a PayPal account because TPT forces me to pay their premium membership account with PayPal. I
Okay.
can't pay it by credit card. But my accountant, it's one more thing to take care of. Right now, what I'm using to pay my VA, if I'm not doing it through Fiverr, I do it through a service called Wise, where I can
Yeah,
connect.
I know it.
Yeah, have you used this to pay or
No,
to receive
never.
money?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I like Wise to send, and then I find once I send my person their money, it takes about a day or two to arrive on their end. And so right now with my VA, I'm at a point where I'm paying an hourly rate. But are you paying per gig or per hour for your work?
Per gig.
Per gig. Okay.
I'm paying her for 10 previews, thumbnails, video previews, and covers.
Okay. I think you mentioned once that financially you're very conservative in how you spend. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Which
is.
is good because you're the opposite of me. I'll like, oh, let's try this experiment. Let's try that experiment. And I'll buy everything.
Genoese people are known to be like Scottish people. We don't want to spend our money.
Right.
Really.
Obviously, there are some people who do, and but stereotypes
but
come from somewhere. Okay.
I don't.
So how will you know how will you measure, yeah, this is a good use of my money, hiring this VA, as opposed to
I didn't know exactly, but I've always had this feeling that if I had better covers, my stuff would do better because my conversion rates are around 30%, 35, 25. The lowest one are still more than 10%. So if people stop by, they buy my resources. So I need more people to stop by, more people
to stop by and to
stop scrolling. Yeah.
We're going to end in a minute, but can you share, can you go back to the Google sheet that we had?
Yeah.
Oops.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Here it is.
And then can you click on the, I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, can you just go back to the product stats? So click on the 3 lines. There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the top where it says show paid, can you click on that link? It's underneath the letter B.
Sorry, it's underneath.
The letter D. D as in dog. So it's a little bit more to the
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then click on that link for show paid. So this is showing just your paid resources. So you're saying that your conversion rates, you're happy with your conversion rates. And so you think that if you had more page views, is that what you just said?
Yeah, look at this, 25, 30, then I have 12, 16, 20, 16, 13, 22, 11, 14. Oh, of course I have lower conversion.
Can you sort that by the sold rate? Can you go up to the top and click on that triangle with the sold rate? Nope.
Yeah, but sold rate.
So sorry, go hover over go back to in the middle. It says sold rate, and then there's a little down triangle beside that.
Oh yeah,
Nope,
here,
not that.
this one.
You gotta scroll down because we're hovering over. Yeah, there we go. So, sorry, move your mouse over.
Oh yeah, okay, here, this
Nope,
one.
that's product preview rate, the one on the right hand side. Nope.
I can see it. The problem is that I can
One
see
more.
it.
Go one more over to the left.
To the left.
It's in the middle. Do you see the column with all the red?
Yeah, this one.
All right. Yep. So
Okay,
that
yeah.
there you go. Sold rate. Let's filter it by Z to A.
Okay.
So your top converting resources
Is
are
a
good.
75%. Yeah.
75% of the people who look at this buy it.
Bought it. 45, 40,
Okay.
40. I have,
And now,
and they're not just one of or two. You can see that I have really a lot of resources that are above 15%.
so can you go back up to the top? Are those the products that you're fixing the covers for to try to get more page views?
No, not this one. Some of them, I started with my bestsellers, and then I
Of
have to
course.
figure out what to do next. But
So how will you know? So and then we have to wrap up, but how will you know? At what point will you say, okay, this VA is not worth it? Even though I got some pretty covers, it's not generating revenue. At what point will you say that?
I don't know. I think I will know when I will be there. Right now, what I thought is that, okay, let's change 10 products and let's see what happens. I'm gonna track my sales and see if it helps or not.
So your sales for those products to see if the sales
Yeah,
grow
of course, of
for those,
course.
and you're just gonna monitor like
Yeah.
how will you know though? Like, are you gonna look at the kachings like to see which products are selling?
Oh, yes, or I can use a free seller tool and filter by products, so it will be easy for
To see
me to
what's
see
yeah.
what's
So
selling, you know.
I I think the trap. I think using a VA is like tinkering. Like at the beginning, we tinker with products to see what works,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
start to tinker with
exactly.
VAs to see what works, and then over
I'm
time,
trying.
yeah, we start to realize like, okay, this is working or this isn't working. If you use a VA, can you leave a comment with what part of your TPT business you use the VA for? And I guess my question is that I'm curious about is how do you know that the VA is worth it, right? Because the VA can save you time, but then at the end of the day, the VA has a cost. So you're either paying in money or you're paying in time. And that's where I'm sort of still tinkering around with as well.
Oh, you must earn more than you would make. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know that
It's easy. It should be easy, you
well,
know.
okay,
If
so then have you made more than you've spent on your VA?
right now, no, but I just started, and in a low period during Christmas, so there
So
is no
how
point
long
in
will
it.
you go in this experiment? I think that's the piece that I'm missing.
I have no idea. I think I will wait a while,
Okay.
like a few months, and see what happens. If my products improve, then I will ask her to do other 10
And then you'll keep on going.
covers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with Enrica's experiment. And for me, we'll have to see whether I can 10x product creation.
I will try to do it as well.
That's 50 resources.
Yeah,
All right.
you know, let's
For those
see.
of you who are watching, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.